Hello everyone, I'm Nerobax. Welcome back to Aston Martin. It has been a while. Now before we begin, I'm just going to give a short couple of minutes where I explain what's been going on. As some of you know, my health has been deteriorating during the winter. Basically, I've been feeling a lot more tired, particularly through November and December. I had days where I basically didn't have any energy left other than just to go to work, eat, and then basically sleep. And this took a toll on, well, my physical health, my mental health, and well before Christmas I went to my doctor. They ran some tests and they immediately sent me to the hospital. The hospital ran some more tests, then I had surgery. Now the hope was that after my surgery around New Year's I'd be back and running normal, two, 3, maybe 4 weeks later. Now nearing the end of January, turns out that wasn't the case. I was not healing properly. I had developed an infection for starters that hadn't really been picked up, but also the surgery wasn't a complete success. I needed to have another one, and that was scheduled for around mid-February. So it wasn't critical, but it did take a lot out of me to have well, to not heal properly, to still be kind of sick throughout most of January, February, and then have another surgery. So come mid-March, I'm finally kind of feeling better, but I still had some things unfortunately on my plate that kind of allowed me to not really just sit down and record, fortunately. So it is the end of March. It's been almost 4 months. My apologies for that, but hopefully now I do have a clean bill of health. According to doctors, I do. But yeah, I probably should have let you guys know. Been more sociable and just informed you guys. But yeah, beginning of January, I was very, very optimistic that, oh, I'll heal well enough to be able to sit down and record in like a week or two, hopefully. But when that didn't happen, it also took a mental toll on me, I guess you could say. But yeah, I am back now with some recording. Hopefully I can leave all of this, you know, negative start to a year behind me. 2 surgeries isn't fun, but the problem should be solved now. I was at a doctor like a week ago, ran a bunch of tests, and nothing out of the ordinary according to the doctors. So hopefully now I won't have to go back. But yeah, that is basically why I've been radio silent for the last 3-4 months. Again, it's been kind of rough for me too, which is probably why I didn't want to fire up my computer. Well, sit down and post. Now, with that said, in the coming days, today, tomorrow, Friday maybe, I'm gonna be sitting down and just going through the YouTube comments, trying to respond to everyone that has been asking questions, things like that. I'll be jumping on Discord and put forward my plans for. I still want to do the challenge game with Canada. Well, Canadian challenge game with Latifi and Stroll. So yeah, I'll be sitting down. We'll figure out exactly what we want to do there. I did have a plan before I got properly sick, but we'll have to go back and have a bit of a look for that. Now again, I do apologize for the lack of communication from my side, but generally I haven't really had any excess energy, to put it into that way, until just a couple of weeks ago. I was struggling with a lot of things physically, but also mentally, because I was not ready for the second surgery. It kind of hit me harder than I expected. But yeah, I am back, and hopefully we can make the best out of this. I'm going to be aiming at finishing up Aston Martin during the next 1 or 2 weeks here. And also keep in mind that the first and second race for this video was actually recorded back in January, the end of January, where I was hoping that I would be back to normal fairly soon. But actually just, I think it was 3 or 4 days later, the hospital, I went to the doctor and they told me I would need another surgery. So I ended up taking it a bit easier. But yeah, thank you to everyone who has supported me in the meantime. It means a lot. I know that I've kind of probably been an ungrateful bastard by not, you know, being as communicative as I should have. But you have my apologies for lack of communication. And hopefully we can all have fun with the game again. At least until the next one comes out. Yeah, let's get right into it. And I do hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And I might make another video where I explain in more detail what's been going on. But generally, yeah, I've had a couple of surgeries that, well, one of them was probably a doctor's fault. One of them was kind of unavoidable. But yeah, let's get right into the racing, and we'll stop the boring stuff here. Let's see how these next 4 races go. The newest patch is out. They released an extra patch to fix a overtaking problem on the safety car. But yeah, we're basically going to be testing out this new patch in the last half of the season, and then I'm thinking we do the challenge game. So first things first, the patch notes are very simple. I don't actually have them on your screen, but basically they fixed unlapping on the safety car. You can now overtake if you've been lapped if you're faster. DRS has been reduced. Slipstreams and dirty airs have now have more of an effect. So your aerodynamics matter more than just your, top speed, turning, that sort of thing. So honestly, it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens here. They also fixed the issue with the weather prediction for track condition. It's been fixed. And the increased highware for AI. So they will now take advantage in pit on the safety car, and now just not pit 2 laps after. Again, I haven't really seen that too much in the couple of games I played while messing up my recording, but I'm thinking we should have some fun here. So I'm thinking we might check out the unlapping in a race here. May basically get ourselves lapped on purpose, maybe. I'm considering to see how that goes. Maybe start at the back, see if we see any difference in overtaking, things like that. Because we are basically halfway through the season, we have a healthy lead of almost twice the amount of points that second place does, and honestly, it should be interesting here. We also have a healthy lead in the Drivers' Championship, Vettel 5 points behind Alonso, and then almost 100 points down to Leclerc. So I wouldn't be too worried here. I would want to just be a little bit, have a little bit of a look at the car analysis here. See how our car stacks up. So again, our car is basically the best at everything but top speed and acceleration. So dirty air shouldn't be a concern. For us, we are pretty high up there. We are still lacking in cooling though. The patch notes haven't actually done anything to cooling as far as I can see. So again, not too worried. As long as your car is fast enough, you can ignore cooling, simply because you can just buy new pieces. So with that in mind, I think we have everything sorted. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Again, just a quick note on the operation I had. It's in the stomach area, which is why it's uncomfortable to sit. But it's a lot better now, and I'm able to sit for about half an hour, 40 minutes before it starts becoming a little bit uncomfortable. And around the 2-hour marks, that's when it's just like, nope, we're stopping. So we'll have to see. I'm thinking of maybe streaming this weekend. We'll have to see. Get back into it. I'm missing the McLaren save personally. Been a couple of questions in the comments about if it's coming back. And honestly, I'm thinking we give it a go. We'll have to see. But yeah, let's get back into it. Again, sorry for spending the first 5 minutes there just giving you an update on my situation. But we are going to get back in the game. I think we are going to test some things just to test out the patch here. Mainly the safety car procedure for unlapping. We'll probably see that just on its own. But I'm also interested in the allowing cars to unlap themselves if they're faster. So we might actually get ourselves lapped on purpose, and then have a look. Maybe on a shorter track. I believe we have Brazil coming up later on. Let's see, circuits. See, we're halfway through. We should have the French one coming up if I remember correctly. Yeah, French one coming up, and then we have the Brazilian Grand Prix. And the reason why I want to do it here is because it's a short lap, so it's easier to get lapped. The pit lane is fairly long. Well, not fairly long. It's okay-ish, and we can potentially just qualify in the back too. It means that we have a chance of lapping ourselves and still winning. In other words, Mexico, also a fairly short lap, a lot of turns. We do have excellent turning, so we could also try it there. But other than that, we have the Dutch Grand Prix, which is also a fairly short lap. Maybe we do it there. I don't know. Could be a good ending to at least the first part here. But yeah, we'll consider it as we go. Hungary is also fairly short. But let's continue here. Sideboards. Also, just want to get myself a little bit of a follow-up here. Regulation change here. Double points for last race. Okay. We probably will not be getting too much into that. Facility refurbishment by the center has been completed. Good. And we have completed a research for suspension. Again, I think we're just going to do it simple here. Both did not get through. We did not get the double points. No worries. I'm thinking we just focus on research personally, because again, it doesn't matter much. Have they fixed it now so that it's more balanced, so you don't take some punishment by going everything to the right? Doesn't really look like it, honestly. But this one, yeah, there's nothing in the patch note about balancing, so I assume it doesn't really matter too much. But let's just get a chassis research going here. We'll put 5 engineers on it. That should be pretty chill. I don't remember if I set any like ground rules for the rest of this campaign, but well, we'll get to the end of it. So, French Grand Prix is coming up. Race preps. Performance targets, do we want to do anything here? Fastest lap. One driver in top 2 should be doable. I think we'll just do this race normally and have a look and see if we see anything anything different, honestly. I'm thinking that would be good to do. And that should be okay. With that, get ready for the French Grand Prix. Here we are. We're ready for the French Grand Prix. As you can see, we qualified first and second. Alonso with a half a second advantage over Vettel. And even that in itself is kind of nuts. So I don't remember the stats exactly from last patch, but I think we might have a look at it after this race to see if maybe our cars have been receiving a buff. Because again, if DRS has been nerfed a little bit and we are lacking in only acceleration and DRS, we might actually have gained with this patch for these boys. Now, expected strategies here are all one stops: medium to hard, hard to medium, or hard to soft. And in terms of performance here, the soft is about 2.5 tenths quicker than the medium. Medium has the same advantage over hard, but with the degradation being as high as it is for soft to medium, it will not be having the advantage for too long. And the hard degrades rather slowly here, but medium is still quite a bit faster, so it'll keep advantage of the hards for around 15 laps. So medium to hard here could work, or we could go for aggressive hard to soft. See what we decide. The pit lane is fairly long though, at 27 seconds. 15 seconds if you have a virtual or safety car. Low chance of getting it though, 25%. So we'll have to see what we do in terms of that. But let's set up our strategy here. And also in terms of qualifying results, as you can see here, we were Norris in third, which is interesting. But again, it's just 3 tenths between Norris and Vettel. So I don't know if Alonso just did really, really well here. But as you can see, he's had an advantage over Vettel in all the qualifyings. And they've basically been doing the same thing. So I don't know what to really make of that. So we might have a look at how the previous races have gone to make a judgment on the patch itself. Now, I was tempted to switch out the engine, but seeing as they're doing so well, I think we'll just stick with the 66% engine for both of them. Shouldn't be a problem. And in terms of strategy here, as I said, I was thinking of doing the hard to soft, but I think we'll just play it safe. They do hard to medium. We don't need to do anything particularly fancy here. And that's really one thing in doing this. What we could do, of course, is try and make something a bit more interesting. We do have 2 soft compounds. So we could try something like, say, this. And maybe try and make you know, a bit aggressive move, but as you can see, we're expected to be 13 seconds slower by doing this. So I think we'll just stick with the hard to medium, play it easy, and kind of ease into getting back into the game, more or less. With that, I think we are ready to go here. We will be pushing fuel, and we will be pushing DRS at the beginning, try and gain that gap, see if it's still doable. And with that, let's get into the race.
This is it! It's time for the French Grand Prix! It's lights out, and away we go!
Okay. Like Alonso got away. Not too great. Vettel is already overtaking him. And Norris is also keeping up. In terms of tyre compounds here, we have some medium runners, but the majority are on the hards. So Leclerc, the reason why he started all the way in the back here is because he had a penalty. Probably switched out some components. We can check which ones after the end of the first lap here. But it's a good start. We already have a bit of a gap here to Norris by half a second. And if they keep this going, we should be able to kind of leave Norris behind. Right now, though, neither of them are taking advantage of the slipstream. While Norris is. You can actually see that he is catching up. So that is actually kind of interesting to watch. It could make the races a bit more equal. Right now, no one has been left behind yet. So again, we'll play it a little bit slow in the beginning. I'm interested to see how this works. But you can see that Norris is getting left behind here. We'll see how the rest of the field does, though. And we aren't having to use that much ERS either. We'll turn it back to neutral once we hit around 50%. Could probably do it now, though. We already kind of left Norris behind. Yeah, we'll just play safe, put it to neutral. We'll still burn some fuel, it should be okay. Fix that towards the end, but yeah. Generally here, we are leaving them behind, but again, first lap here, and there's no big gaps in the field itself. Something I find a bit interesting. Let's speed things along and see where we're at in a few laps' time. Gap is appearing here with Gasly in 11th, which is kind of what you'd really expect.
So DRS is enabled now.
We have 2 minutes, 2 seconds advantage over Norris.
Copy.
So again, I think this should be okay. We'll see how this plays out. Could probably have a look at Vettel and Alonso to see how, you know, DRS and everything works. The fact that Alonso didn't just immediately get an overtake here on the main straight, well, the finish straight, does hint towards that the effects have been nerfed a bit. There's a tyre wear, they all seem to be identical so far.
Doing a good job, keep pushing.
So we'll see how that plays out. For now, though, I'm just gonna leave things be. And again, we'll have a look at overtaking probably next race. I'm thinking, well, Hungarian is kind of difficult to overtake on, maybe not. I'm thinking that we start our races at the back in one of these races, see how long it takes them to overtake the Alonso go battle. Will Vettel be able to immediately respond? We have a yellow flag, Russell.
Oh, we've
Some
had a
shenanigans.
spin.
So Vettel actually managed to overtake there, that's interesting. And the field is starting to bunch up, give in a bit. Norris still in 3rd, but he has Bottas behind him. Ricciardo is okay, I don't remember this happening, but we have a Hamilton in Alpha. But yeah, it's it looks good so far. There's no one who's really been completely left behind after 6 laps. Like, the gaps are good. And, well, again, no one has been just abandoned by the wayside. Then again, I don't remember much about this save because, again, it's been 2 months. So I should probably have rewatched my latest video before I uploaded this, to be fair. So far, it does look promising for a more interesting game, especially if we do start with the limitations that we proposed in the canon game. Again, I'm going to go on Discord, going to discuss a little bit more with the people there, what we do, what the plan will be, and I'll make a pinned comment where I have my suggestions and get started on that as soon as we're done with the season. Now, in terms of fuel, we might be struggling a little bit with 10 laps in. We're still lacking a little bit. Another yellow flag. Hamilton this time. But if we remove the outlier here of our two cars,
Sounds like
it's
someone's locked
16
up.
seconds from first to last. Well, it would be even less, about 12 to 14 seconds. If you ignore the fact there were some accidents along the way. So it looks like the field is more bunched up. The field is more competitive to some degree. And I do like seeing that. And I keep on turning away from microphone. Sorry if the audio is kind of choppy. But it's because of my sitting position. It's not the best, I'll be honest. Let's speed things up again. But yeah, I do find this interesting. And I noted that in the previous recording attempt too. But you won't see that, so we'll have to redo it. New fastest lap, another yellow flag. Did Norris do something? A Bottas? Nah.
Did somebody spin out there?
Magnussen with a spin. But yeah, Norris and Bottas are fighting. Ricciardo is fighting Sainz.
That sounds like someone's gone wide
So we are
there.
getting a couple of battles here, which is nice to see. And again, this video is mostly just me taking the considerations of the patch into mind while recording. And it's also interesting to see that Alonso is not regaining any fuel, while Vettel has regained about 200 grams. So might need to forcefully slow Alonso down a bit here. Keep him behind Vettel. If we put him to conserve, will he be able to keep up?
Save fuel. Yeah, copy me.
He'll be able to overtake. Yeah, in terms of lap times, fire usage, it looks about equal for everyone. We are running 3/10 gain. Well, 6/10 on Bottas, but that's because he overtook Norris. We're actually slower than Sainz on that lap. That's interesting. Yeah, it's looking a bit more competitive. Like, lapping will probably happen less as well as a result. Put him back to balance. But our drivers doesn't seem to have a problem keeping up with each other, at least. Now, while running conserve, which is good. Means that the aero, like slipstreams and dirty air, matter because, again, our car is really, really good in dirty air.
You can stop lift and coast.
So it doesn't really matter too much for us. Pit window is lap 32, plenty of time still.
Someone's run wide.
And honestly, again, Latifi's a given that he'll be a bit slower with his stats. Magnussen spun. Hamilton did something too with a yellow flag. Schumacher in a Williams, again. Understandable that he's not super competitive. But I do like to see the fact that McLaren is this far up. I don't remember where they were on the scoreboard. I know Ferrari is second. So Leclerc is making his way back up. He's now up into, well, was up into 10th. But he's now pitted for hards, and that'll be the only pit stop he does. So that is interesting in its own right. Perez ran wide. And I believe Norris also pitted. So second place is now this boy right here. He's running alone right now. Let's see if he can keep up with the rest of the pack. And honestly, we could probably pit fairly safely here. There's still 3 cars though that are going to be fighting us if we do. They're all hard runners like ourselves. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to see where Leclerc actually ends up again. Second best car. And he started at the back. He's kind of doing the experiment for us right now with an AI managed car. So it'll be interesting to look at. But again, we have made a car that is so dominant that we're basically just running on autopilot, which has been unfortunate. It makes the game a bit more boring. Now, in terms of the weather, I was concerned there for a second because I saw some potential rain clouds. But it looks like we'll be dry for the entire race. Pit window in 1 lap. We're getting there. I still think that we'll run these cars a little bit extra into the ground maybe. We do have a full pit stop on 3rd place. So I wouldn't be too concerned, honestly. Thinking we get Alonso in lap 32. Then we get Vettel on lap 33. So let's set up the pits.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
There we are. We will set up the pit stop for Alonso onto the mediums. And we'll set up the pit stop for Vettel, same onto the mediums. And for Vettel here, we will delay the pit stop by 1 lap.
Let's take a closer
And
look.
hopefully they will
Now we
not double
see
stack.
Valtteri Bottas. They're forced wide, and there we can see.
Again, I'd like to see them not stopping when they're just barely off the track like that. Because it is disruptive and sadly immersion breaking. Did neither of them pit? Oh, they're pitting now. Okay. Okay, Alonso opted to not pit somehow. He is supposed to pit. There we go. Okay, so that was weird. But it should be okay. We'll have Vettel in just now. We'll see if it comes out ahead or behind Alonso. By how much? 2 seconds behind, so the pit stop actually had quite a bit of a impact here. Again, I'm thinking we let them just run their own thing. I want to see if Vettel can take advantage of the... honestly, let's just have Vettel burn his fuel. I want to see if we could take advantage of the aerodynamics here. Get him into about 1.5 seconds. And see if he gains on the straights or not. He did say his fastest lap, so he is gaining on him. The question is if it's based on the fuel, or if it's based on... Yeah, let's put him back to balanced. See if he's still... He was gaining on the straight there. He is gaining. Yeah, he's definitely gaining on the straights, and then maybe losing a little bit in the corners. But that is basically due to, again, the slipstream being more effective. So, this is looking good. Looking like a good update. Again, that kind of was the case before, but I do feel that it's stronger than what it used to be. I'm also impressed again here by the McLarens there being 3rd and 4th. Well, they're fighting Verstappen, we'll have to see what he does. And Leclerc has made it up now into 6th. So a penalty here for Tsunoda. I don't know what happened, I was probably too focused on our boys to realize. But I would assume there's a crash with these two both having 39, so they probably touched. Oh yeah, I wanted to have a look at... Sorry, that's one. Leclerc. Because I believe he has parts, new ERS, maybe a new gearbox. ERS is new for sure. Gearbox probably last race. Well, he's been doing good. He's up to 8th. He does have some time wear to worry about now, though. There's just 7 laps to go. Will he be able to climb higher? He is in a train here with Sainz and Perez. An Ocon, apparently. Didn't realize. And also, as you can see here, Alonso and Vettel are now back to fighting. Have Alonso burn off about 300 grams of fuel, make them equal. And I'll allow fate to decide towards the end here, I guess. I know that Vettel still has an advantage, but I'm thinking it's okay. Yeah, 4 laps to go. First race back. Again, this has been more me just analyzing the patch rather than fighting for the win. Again, our drives are basically on autopilot. Unfortunately, we didn't see any unlappings. To be fair, though, we just recently started lapping people. So again, I think we tested out on a shorter track. Again here, we have a 50-second advantage to third place, which is still a bit much. So again, we'll have a look at how we make this a bit more fair for the Canada Challenge. Again, going to be going on Discord probably today or tomorrow. Tomorrow being the day after I upload the video,
Last lap.
because I'm hoping to get this all done today
Copy.
in 3 or 4 spurts. So we'll see. I think it will be okay. Currently last lap.
Let's check and flag.
Alonso won. Vettel with
Yes, guys. I hope you
just a
enjoyed
few
the
hundreds
show.
behind. So
Alonso has
a close
done it.
race. Would be funny now though if they
Today's Grand Prix winner.
Okay, so let's check and flag.
would be funny if they crashed on
Car was
the
great this afternoon.
follow
Thank
up
you.
there.
Brilliant.
Third and
Brilliant.
fourth from McLaren.
Tackle.
Very impressive. Kind of surprising, honestly. Really, the return of McLaren. Ferraris 6th and 8th. Charles making up 12 places is interesting in its own, to be fair. And Russell and Bottas both had pretty bad races here. I don't know if the Mercedes was hurt by the update, but I know Russell kind of spun out, got put to the back. And I'll have to have a look at that, because if the Mercedes have been hurt by the update and the McLaren has gotten a boost, that would be kind of funny. So we'll have a look after this race. Now in terms of driver championship then, Fernando Alonso gains on Vettel, 11 points ahead. Sainz takes over third place from Leclerc. Norris moves up to 6th. We have Ricciardo moving up to 10th. And other than that, we don't really have any movements for the drivers. For constructors, McLaren moves up. They were 5th, they're now 4th. And as I said, we'll have to have a look at their car and see how it stacks up against ours. It's going to be interesting. Development-wise, we did okay. Again, they're all drivers, they don't get as many points. Base is pretty good though for both of them, so can't be too angry. We didn't try and focus on gaining any points either. I did forget to give Hauge here practice runs, so that's on me. Money-wise, we made 6.8 million. We made our sponsors happy. Can't complain about anything there. And research has been completed for the underfloor. Point for Vettel, we'll put it into braking. Again, braking is probably the most powerful stat out of the pace stats, but again, all the pace stats are important. I wouldn't really undermine any of them. Underfloor research complete. Do I want to do another underfloor right away? We are still losing a little bit of expertise if we do not, so I think we'll just do another underfloor. Again, everything to the right. Again, I haven't seen anything in the patch notes about it. It still seems to be just the most general way of upgrading your car. Honestly, I wish they would nerf it a little bit. I feel like it should be a viable thing, but it should at least take far longer time than it does now. Still, again, it's 3 months. That is a pretty long time. But focusing everything should either be a smaller gain on everything, or it should take a longer time to gain the current gain. I think like that would be a good balance, because right now, again, just put everything to the right and you will beat the AI within a couple of years, even if you don't know what you're doing, which is unfortunate and a bit boring. So again, we're going to limit that for the Canada game. Order review upcoming, don't really need to worry about that. Post race information, basically what we went through. And the next race is in Hungary in just a few days. Team Hub upgrade has been completed. And we have the race prep ready here. Let's get that done. Qualifying position, I think we can guarantee 1-2 here. Again, I didn't remember where we were from last save. We'd be able to get both cars into Q3. And we should also be able to guarantee a 1-2 here, I think. Unless we crash, which is usually what happens when I set that thing. Now with that in mind, I do want to, before we do the race, have a look at the cars of McLaren and of Ferrari. So the McLaren car here is pretty bad on top speed, as you can see. Very, very bad at top speed. It really shouldn't be able to come third with these stats, let's be honest. It's quite impressive that they did. They do have high engine cooling. It would be interesting to see if that actually had an effect. But they have dirty air. Well, they have cornering for medium and high speed. And honestly, I think that was good for last race, if I remember correctly. Again, I'm a bit unsure. But yeah, this car should not be able to go third and fourth, honestly. Ferrari car, much more, should be able to do much more than it did. Again, I do believe they had bad engines, maybe. I know the Ferrari had good ERS, new gearbox. So engines could also be what's costed here. And in terms of Mercedes, they also have not the best top speed and acceleration, but they also have decent dirty air and cornering. So I don't know why they lost out that bad. We'll have to see. Could also just be a problem with the patch being applied to save. It's a bit interesting to look at though. And with that in mind, let's move on to the next race in Hungary. Qualifying has finished. We once again qualify first and second. Once again, we have about half a second between Alonso and Vettel, which is interesting because you didn't see that in the last race in terms of, you know, that lap difference. So it'll be interesting to see if we get anything about it this. They might have made slipstreams a bit too powerful if you can reliably get half a second faster times than your competitor and still struggle to, you know, pull away. Now, in terms of expected strategies here, we have most likely one stoppers, could be a potential two stoppers for some. In terms of compound performance, soft and medium are almost identical, just 600s between them. And the degradation is quite harsh for the soft to medium, 300s a lap. So in theory, they should be equal after just 2 laps. So bit of a rough one in terms of competitive performance. This one is kind of weird though. Soft could probably be better than medium, might be some mistake. Medium to hard, we have 3 tenths, and they just degrade to hundreds between each. So again, hards will be mediums will outperform the hards, I think. Time considerations, it's a fairly short pit lane, 22 seconds, not super short, still short enough, and we have a 40% chance here of a safety car. That could be fairly interesting. Now, in terms of the other results here for qualifying, we have Sainz and Leclerc, third and fourth, kind of what we expected. A little bit more back to normal here for the McLarens in 6th and 10th. We have Bottas and Russell in 7th and 9th. Kind of surprising, honestly. We should have checked out the Red Bull, really. In terms of how it currently looks stat-wise, it's still doing good. But we should have a look and see exactly how it stacks up against the rest. Now, with that in mind, let us set up a strategy. It is going to rain here, and it's going to rain to potentially the end. So we'll be able here now to test if the weather system is back to normal. And I think we'll just start on the softs. Maybe even push it up to start on the mediums. I think we'll do that. That way we have some balance, and towards the end there, if we need to, we can just burn the mediums, get to where we want to be. Now, again, we are still running with fairly beat up engines. I think this is the last race we'll use these engines before we switch them out. And honestly, we could also try and do a challenge here to see how low can we bring our engine before we start losing races. Now, with that in mind, let's get into the Hungarian Grand Prix.
It's sunny. This is it. The Hungarian Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
See if we get a good start for our 2 drivers. So far it looks good. Looks fairly good for everyone. Might be on a little bit of touch there from the Ferrari. But that was also kind of a weird move from Alonso, to be fair. Let's see how long the field can stick together. Again, I'm just doing this balanced this time. Mainly just to see if Leclerc and Sainz can keep up. Currently, doesn't really look like it, unfortunately.
DRS enabled.
Got it with a lockup, sent him to the back. This could also be interesting. We'll be able to see if the McLaren can make the climb. And in terms of the tires, yeah, a lot of them are actually on the soft tires. So we'll see how that holds up. Hopefully they will not pit before rain. I think that is probably the next thing they should fix. When basically the AI's movements when it's going to rain. So the track, this should be full wets as you can see, lap 12. And we might need to go to the inters for this period, then full wets again, and then maybe something towards the end there. We'll see. Norris is kind of falling behind though, as you can see, and that is actually what we expect. Maybe France was just a fluke. It was still a good performance from the McLaren boys then. Alonso is also kind of pulling ahead of Vettel here, which is again also kind of what we expected. But 7 laps in, we have about 2.5% advantage. Leclerc has run wide with a lockup.
Watch this. There's Leclerc. And yes, that's the lockup.
Okay, it kept the car going at least. That looks a bit more normal. That does give Leclerc a challenge here to see if he can actually climb back up. And again, also we'll try that out ourselves at some point, see how difficult it would be to climb up from the bottom 2 places. I think we probably pick up an extra engine and probably an extra gearbox. I believe both of them ruined to some degree an engine and a gearbox earlier in the season by crashing. And we still have lap 18 before we can expect any rain. So let's just speed it up. Let something a bit more interesting happens here.
Rain still coming. Okay.
4 minutes, then we should expect some rain. We are going to have to double stack here though. It's going to suck for whoever is second of our drivers. And here we are. It has started raining. We could probably have gotten one of them in this lap just to play it safe. But I don't feel like it's probably too worth it.
Sprinkling of rain. Copy.
Small sprinkling. We're already over into intermediate territory. And it's going to keep on going here. Quite a bit upwards.
We are expecting rain pretty soon.
We have 10 seconds still on third, so we should still come out with both drivers ahead of them. But of course, it's a bit more punishing for our second driver here, being Vettel. And as you can see, the AI don't really like to double stack. Paris is still out. Roll is still out. Gas is still out. And the thing is, those guys are actually holding up the cars behind them because they're so slow. And in our case, that's actually a benefit. Pretty big benefit. As you can see, we already are in a position where we're lapping potential Ricciardo before too long. Still getting wetter, so at least the forecast now more accurate, which is good. They fixed it. Well, they probably have fixed it. We'll have to have a look here, see if get any unknowns here, because it is supposed to be 100% accuracy, but it's getting really wet here. As you can see, 7 millimeters of water on the track. So we'll have to see around lap 35 if we should hit or not. Vettel is still actually losing out to Alonso, so in terms of lap times there, Alonso is actually doing almost a second quicker. That's concerning. Albon with a lockup. But yeah, Alonso is apparently taking advantage of the wet track here. Fifi has been lapped, unfortunately. And if we get a safety car now, we'll be able to see if the unlapping works as planned. Show with a spin. A2 has been lapped as a result.
I think there's been a lockup.
And he followed it up with a lockup to see. Yeah, he does have wet tires, so that shouldn't actually be a concern. We are losing water now on the track, and as we were saying, lap 35 is what we'd expect to be the breakthrough points or the change point. Go back to inters. I probably, yeah, Science is pitting. We have the advantage here, so we just need to cover, honestly. So let's just do that, get both drivers in, pit onto intermediates, and that should be okay. Everyone is pitting for intermediates, as you can see, so they do it about the 4mm mark. We have lapped a bunch more drivers. Vettel with a lockup. Shouldn't be any concern. Should still be ahead of Sainz. He is. Didn't get any damage to the car.
No DRS.
We do have, I believe, a safety car though. Sainz is out. So we actually do get to have the unlapping here. Have a look. We just pitted. There's no need to do anything. We'll just leave things as be.
Sounds like a single car. Let's see what happened there. Okay, here's the Ferrari.
Just spun out and destroy this car. Okay. Not much we could do about that. Let's speed things up here. It is the safety car. And we have a decent amount of cars here to unlap. 9 of them. Well, no, 10. Yes. So, this is going to be interesting to see if how the unlapping is going to work. Lap cars we now overtake. Okay. Have a look at Leclerc. See how this goes. It's hard to overtake in the rain though, so this might take a while. Have a look at it from the auto. This should be the next lap car to overtake, I think. Oh wait, that's Leclerc. Yep. Stroll's going. Schumacher's going. Oh, okay. Good thing they can't crash with the safety car. Safety car might just be going a tad bit too fast for some of these unlappings. Yeah, it looks like the unlapping feature is working, although it might be considered a bit wonky. The safety car going into the pits? I don't think so. Nope. And then it should come in on the next lap.
Safety car will be in this lap. Okay, copy.
Okay, that was actually fairly good. Except for some of the wonky driving, pretty good. I don't know what Albon just did, but he lost 10 seconds. The rest of the pack. He's driving on the wrong tires. He is. He's still in the wets. Well, it is wet now again, so I should really just have pitted at the end of the safety car. Let's just get our boys in here. Albon might actually come out as a big winner. That's my fault. I should have paid better attention. Now we have Vettel down in 7th, third, Albon in 2nd. So he did come out as the big winner. I'm going to be looking forward now to seeing if Vettel is actually capable of overtaking during these conditions. So I was a bit too focused on, again, the safety car procedures to really notice anything else. Vettel is already up to the back of Ocon though. So I'm wondering if on this straight, if he will have enough speed to make a move. Nope. Not really. And Latifi has unfortunately already been lapped again. I guess we might need to micromanage Vettel a little bit. Give him the overtake, maybe. Help him out a bit in that regard. We can also have him push fuel. And seeing as they'll be running these tires for about, what, 10, 20 more laps maybe?
They've moved up a place.
Might be able to make something work. Vettel has already overtaken Ocon there. And I want to see how he does now when he comes up to the next ones, because Albon is the lead of these boys. And I don't think he will be able to hold Vettel behind him, really. Let's give him overtake again. And we'll see if we can make some moves here. But yeah, Albon did indeed come out as the big winner, staying on the wets during the safety car.
Looks like Aston Martin
Vettel is making moves though. He got 2 positions there.
Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel.
It's a fairly aggressive move in the wet. Kind of impressive. Maybe we should have a bit of a look at what he's
Sounds like a
up to.
spin.
Throw with a spin. That's unfortunate for him. Might need to recharge some ERS here, but now we are to the back of Albon, so I think with our speed we should be able to overtake him, although we do have Russell side by side with us here.
It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
Allow him to go aggressive on the tyres, and we'll see if that makes a change here. We don't really have any extra energy to use for ERS. We are quicker than the Merc, as you can see. Question is if we can catch up and overtake Albon. We can't really move into this space because the Merc is there. Might need to just hang back a bit and harvest, but this is looking good, honestly. I think we can leave things as they are for now. See if we can get an overtake done with aggressive. Excuse me. And high fuel burn. And it's already happened actually, so let's just burn off the extra fuel, see if we can catch up to Alonso. He now has a 20-second lead, a pit stop on Vettel.
Looks like there's been a lockup.
That's kind of interesting in its own right, but let's speed things up here. I need to go and get some water after this race. My throat is getting dry. Sorry about the coughing. He is catching up though. He's gained 2 seconds so far. Rain has stopped. Can expect the levels to drop here quite drastically. The question is, do we go intermediates for these like 5 laps? We might just copy what the AI does, honestly. I'll have to see here. Kind of a hard judgment to make to some degree. We will stick on the west probably for at least a couple more laps. Maybe even just go on to the rise towards the end. Skip the intermediates. We'll have to see. We have another yellow.
Oh, there's a spin!
Hamilton with a spin. Unfortunate. And so far, no one is pitting for Inters, as you can see. So I think we're just gonna follow this, and once we get a little bit lower than a millimeter, we might just go for... well, we will go for dries for the last 5-6 laps. Leclerc just got overtaken. That's unfortunate. And I think we can speed things up a little bit here. Need to pay attention to Verstappen with the lockup too. That's unfortunate for them. Tyres are now severely overheating. Honestly, not a concern. We're not going to keep them for too much longer. But we do need to get rid of a bit more water from the track here before we go into the dries. Even if the tyres degrade quicker, it's not a problem for us. But yeah, I am very happy that we got to see the safety car.
Track is pretty dry, so don't damage these tyres, especially high speed.
Copy.
Track is drying, so I'm thinking we just gamble here. Let's get... Honestly, just using the softs here is probably just the easiest thing. Let's just get both cars in, onto the softs, to the end. And it'll still be a couple of laps before the track is completely dry.
DRS will be active.
But I still think it's okay to just pit for the tyres now.
Was that a lockup on the track?
We'll see if we are... Well, you can see already how much quicker Alonso is than the cars in front. They're still on the wets. That's quite amazing. And also, as you can see, everyone is now
Seems to
pitting
have been a
for
lock-up.
soft tires, so you can do it basically at the dry mark. That should be okay. I think we can just allow it run to the end here. At least we got to see the safety car unlapping procedure. Good. It worked pretty well. And again, I am tempted to
I think we've had a car run
try
wide.
and forcefully put ourselves in a lap position to see if we can unlap ourselves,
Last
because
lap.
we do have the fastest car. With this said, though, shouldn't be any
Let's check
problems
the
here.
flags.
Pretty much what
Where'd
we're
that
used
go?
to. Victory. And as I said, I'll be using the end of this, the last 9 races now, test the patch and see if we see any like real changes. I would also like to see how like the earlier races have been. But again, we can test that during the next game. You can see Russell actually made it up to 3rd, Norris in 4th. Considering the stats of his car, that's fairly impressive. Ocon though in 5th, that's also fairly impressive. Hamilton 7th, Albon 8th. And basically a lot of upsets here. Red Bull in 11th and 12th for Ferrari. And 17th, well, of course he crashed out, so that makes sense. That's just me not thinking. Driver Championship, Russell moves up past Perez, Ocon moves up past Ricciardo. And in the Constructors, we have no changes. Development-wise here, pretty good. Again, all drivers don't really get too many points, but I did remember how good this time. Money-wise, a good weekend, no penalties, 5.7 million in the bank. Can be very, very happy with that. And our mid-season board review. They have assessed that we are on target, and they're happy with that. And once again, we've been given a 1.5 million bonus. We do have 50 million in the bank, so again, no worries, we're at summer break. Race in 25 days. But before I forget, let's have a quick look at the Red Bull car. So they are the fastest car. And not by much, just 0.07 kph. And they have, you know, 0.001 g acceleration advantage over us. So it's not the most massive, but again, there are 3 cars which are, well, 3 teams which are very close to each other here. Now they are lacking in the high speed corners, which I think is hurting them more. They're also lacking DRS acceleration, which is weird for seeing that it's Red Bull. But I guess that's to be expected, maybe. Nothing of interest in our mailbox. Research is completed. Should be the front wing. There we are. And again, I think we are just going to keep on upgrading stuff. We're going to refurbish the helipad. Again, hospitality. I don't think this matters. Boardroom, again. Don't think this matters too much. Memorabilia, morale. Again, haven't really seen too many effects of morale. Might have to go and dig on the Reddit, see if someone has had a look in the game files. The tour center, again, don't think it's worth it. So we'll just leave the rest as is. Car development report. We're still looking very good. Again, cooling is our crux, but again, I don't care. It's honestly not that important in my book. The simulator center, on the other hand, is actually something I find... Well, it's a suspension sim, so maybe not. It does give cooling, but again, it's just extra expenses. Let's go ahead and refurbish. Factory. Again, development speed doesn't really matter that much. If we need to, we can just pay extra money to rush parts, so we can let it decay. I feel like there should be some prestige attached to having... How should I put this? Honestly, I feel like having top facilities should give you extra buffs in terms of prestige. And what I mean when I say prestige is basically just a buff for the team in terms of morale, team attractiveness, sponsor attractiveness, things like that. Basically, you are a top-end team. You have the facilities to back it up, and that should give you some potential extra benefits. But again, I think that would be a thing for the next game. But it's weird. It's one of those things that would be nice as a quality of life upgrade, but not something that is truly needed, put it that way. It's just me being nitpicky. Helipad has been refurbished. Good. I'll have another research coming up. I didn't start a new one, did I? I did not. I was too busy complaining. Let's see. There is front wing. Okay, so they fixed a couple of issues. Let's continue. See here. We are still going to be losing some unless we do more. So let's just do one more front wing while we're at it. Everything to the right. And we're still going to be lacking a little bit. We're going to have to do one more after this, but that should be okay. With 5 engineers on that, we'll be done 11th of October. Coincidentally, I think it's the day the underfloor's done too. And let's do a suspension. Still lacking a little bit here. Should be okay. Let's just slap everything to the right. I still feel like it's the most effective thing. Unfortunately, again, I really wish the presets would be a bit more powerful. The way to balance this, I think, would honestly be to have the presets give a multiplier to the stat they give you. Like, say, how should I put this? Let's say if we go race performance here. Basically, if you do custom, you get the blanket stats today. So you can focus on everything for gain. But I feel like if you go race performance, add a 1.5 modifier here to the gain. For these two, let's say add a 1.2. For this one, again, no modifier, maybe even a negative one to balance it. And for this one, 1.1 or something. You're gaining extra stats by using these presets. Basically make the presets a bit more powerful, to put it like that. Then again, it's not really something that's really necessary. Honestly, it's just me being a bit nitpicky again. This should fix all the issues with the suspension by the looks of it, so let's get that going. And we have an important email, which we just sorted out. It's the chassis research. Let's speed things along here. Facility upgrade completed. This is that we have upgraded the CFD sim. Understandable. We also have unused scouts. The car part test center in poor condition. Again, it's cooling. Not that important. And in terms of scouting here, do we have any young drivers coming up? Cannot race. Zach O'Sullivan, but I believe he is there at game start. So again, what I want to see here is a new gen. But again, scouts aren't that important. You should just... I wish there was an auto setting on them, but again, I'm being nitpicky for no good reason. Okay, here we are. Belgian Grand Prix. Get the race prep going. I feel like I've been a bit grumpy while recording this. My apologies. It's good to be back though, I'll say that. But I have hopes and dreams for this game that I hope gets realized in the next edition. It would be great. And with that, I think I can get into the next race in Belgium. See how that goes. We're ready for the Belgian Grand Prix, but we do have a small issue. During qualifying here, as you can see, Alonso ended up 12th. During Q2, we had the interesting case of running out of, once again, fuel. It seems to be a problem for Belgium in particular, but it happened to Alonso. So what I'm thinking here is that we can take advantage of this and basically just go ahead and give him a penalty by slapping on new engine, and also by giving him a new gearbox. With this, should be able to make them last to the end of the season, I think. That's the goal, at least, hopefully. And with that, we can also test now with the new patch how well cars are, you know, moving up the grid. So starting position 9th is going to be, I would assume, lower. With the new parts, I can't remember how the game actually handles it, but we'll see. If he starts 9th, we can have a look from there. If he starts lower, that's great too. Now, in terms of the race report here, what we can expect in terms of strategies are, as you can see for the most part, just straight up one stops. like medium to hard, soft to medium. All of them seem to be an option. In terms of the performance, the softs are about 3/10 quicker than the medium, but with the degradation it won't take more than, well, not even 10 laps before the mediums start having an advantage. And with the mediums and hards having 2/10 between them and barely any degradation at all with just 100th, the mediums will have an advantage for 20 laps, and then the hards will slowly come into their own. So we'll have to see exactly what we do here. Starting our softs could work. The pit lane here is pretty average at 20 seconds. With a safety car, just a 10-11 second pit stop. So we'll have to see exactly here what we end up with. For now though, as I said, we'll set up strategy. We could go medium hard. I think that's a fairly safe strategy. We could also go soft medium, but as you can see, this is a bit more risky. Soft hard is also an option, but I think we're just going to play it safe here. We can do a medium to a hard. It's theoretically also the quickest one, which doesn't actually come as a big surprise. I would kind of expect that to be the case. So we'll do that for both our drivers there. And we'll see how Alonso does in terms of making him space from the back. With this strategy, we'll have Vettel do his own thing here. And we'll set the pace mode to... Sorry, not the pace mode. Fuel usage, deploy. And we'll do that for both. So again, as I said in the start of this video, this is the midpoint. It's been a couple of months since I last fired up this game, because I've had some, well, issues with my health. I ended up having to get another operation. The first one not being good enough, so to speak. But I'm hoping to get a little bit more back into it now. But again, I took all this at the beginning of the video, so let's just get into racing again, enjoying ourselves. Okay, so we'll incur grid penalties, which will make Alonso start from the back, which is honestly kind of what we're looking for.
It's the Belgian Grand Prix.
Seeing Alonso hiding in the back there.
Lights out, and away we go.
Lights out, away we go. Can he make up a place here from the get-go? Looks to be possible.
You are joking.
In terms of the tyres here, you can see that Sainz are old softs, same for Norris and Russell. But
Ferrari, advance the race position.
there's actually a surprising amount of people here running soft tyres. So we'll see what happens with
Aston Martin
potentially
with a
safety
great
cars.
play there. They've moved up a
Alonso's
place.
already overtaking one car. And as you can see, we don't actually have that much speed compared to the Williams here. At least not right now.
That's it.
But
Some lifting
how much we
post
can
will
do with
help
that. Let's switch to neutral here for Vettel.
Use overtake.
Honestly, we could have him deploy,
Okay.
see if he can pull away. Have Alonso too,
Use
just do
energy.
that. And we'll see if we can make
copy.
things work here.
No saving required.
So, I was hoping Belgium would be a good one to test this on to begin with, to see how overtaking is going to pan out. And let's see also if there's more than just a couple of overtaking spots for the course of the race here. Vettel is already getting a gap out front here. You can see that, 7/10 ahead of Sainz. That's quite the gap. And Alonso is still kind of stuck, but again, once these soft tires start giving in a bit more, he's going to have probably a quite sizable advantage.
This is good. Come on.
I feel like he really should send it there on the inside. I feel like it's going very slow. Yeah, as you can see here, Verstappen is a second behind Sainz. Sainz has I think gained a little bit on Vettel. But again, they're gonna pit fairly early on, so it's not a big problem for us. Again, it feels kind of like when we switch to Alonso's view that it's kind of a Sunday drive, which is kind of unfortunate. Sainz is doing a good race job though for keeping up with Vettel.
Okay, happy
And
to
I think
lifting
that
post.
once we get a couple of laps time here, once we get the rear wing open, I think we're gonna just fly by them. Honestly. There we go, getting Tsunoda. That is good, we kind of needed that. And I think we can just burn a little bit of extra fuel here, we can live with that.
Aston Martin have just
And
gained the
already
race position.
Alonso is closing down, it was 1.8, he's down to 1.5. Vettel is still gaining on
DRS is
lines.
enabled. DRS is enabled.
We'll have to see if we can keep that up and stay out of DRS range. Almost in DRS range here for Alonso. We might be able to get it open on the straight maybe. Let's see. Can he close up? And again, I'm still surprised that Sainz is keeping up as well as he has. And it would seem like Alonso here is going to get DRS. That should get us up to the back of the others, I think. Yeah, with that, I think we're going to speed things up a little bit. See how it all plays out. We're going to slow down the fuel usage just a tad bit here. And as you can see, Vettel, Sainz. I guess Verstappen is kind of holding up the rest of the grid here to some degree. But for now, I'm a bit unsure. See now if Alonso can make some moves here. Vettel has actually been caught up by Sainz on the soft. Are we going to get one move done? Good.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
Let's see what happens with Sainz and Vettel.
Okay, here's the Ferrari.
Basically, exact same thing that happened to Alonso now, but Alonso managed to keep hold on his position. Gasly, very good.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They
Okay,
moved
I
up
was
a
hoping
place.
to see
Here's
the
the replay. Let's have a look.
Gasly
This
one.
was the Aston Martin.
Yeah, looks like Alonso is doing his job fairly well. We should probably put DRS back to neutral.
They
DRS,
take
ERS
advantage
back to neutral.
and muscle their way through. Excellent work.
Currently, in terms of time to lead it, we're 14 seconds behind. Still think we're safe. DRS zone here is open. We might actually have to go for a little bit of harvesting. We'll have to see here if the neutral can keep up or not. But I think we're okay. Hopefully. Vettel is still struggling with Sainz. Now Vettel does have a fresh engine too, I believe. So it's kind of surprising, really. But not too much we can do about that. Vettel has
Let's take a
retaken
closer
P1.
look. Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel.
Into turn 1 there, just gets it done. Pretty good. 8 seconds now down to Verstappen. We've had multiple cars crashed, one of them being Vettel. Sainz with a potential penalty. Okay. Vettel is out.
It's a collision. Let's have a look. Okay, here's the Ferrari.
Let's see here. Sainz bomb. Yeah, Sainz locks up and just sends Vettel.
And there's the crash. Mark my
Okay.
words,
So
there'll be questions
P1,
asked
you
about
two
that later.
are going to have to pit here. Now the question is, do we want to take advantage? Because we're still fairly far back. What we could do here, if we really wanted to, is that we could pit for softs. We have fresh softs. We change our... Let's see here, it's been a while. Race strategy here. To... let's see. Push this one to softs. We do that now. Those softs can last until around lap 25 if we stretch them. And then we could go back onto the mediums. It would take 14 seconds longer, in theory. But I think we might gamble on this. Just because I find it interesting. So, it's gonna suck for a little bit. But I don't think the AI is low enough on tire wear that they will take advantage of this safety car to actually pit. I'm thinking that we will do it instead.
Sebastian, we need to retire the car.
Bit of a shame though that we actually got bombed there. But yeah, not much we can do about it. I don't think we'll be able to come out ahead of Tsunoda and Latifi. No chance. But again, I do feel like hitting like this is worth it. And we didn't even come out ahead of Sainz. Sainz went on hards. He might actually go to the end of the race on those. And for now, let's just conserve tires, charge ERS. And that should be okay. Safety car is already ending. Now that's a bit more of a surprise here, honestly. But yeah, we'll see how this goes now. Maybe it was a bad idea to pit. We'll figure it out as we go. There we are. We are underway again. And this is going very, very slowly. Leclerc, still actually technically P9, hasn't made up really any space. We'll see now if Alonso can take advantage of not only having the car advantage, but also the tire. And immediately he gets Latifi. Will he get Tsunoda as well?
Looks like Aston
Basically
Martin
immediately
have
too.
just
Looks
gained
like
the race
Tsunoda had
position.
a kind of an accident though, so can't really
there's a
say we
spin.
got him. Yeah, Tsunoda had a spin.
Let's see what happened there. Now let's look at this. The focus on Tsunoda.
Span out of that final corner. Made it very easy for us.
DRS enabled.
We're now behind Sainz. And honestly, Sainz could actually be a problem here that's going to keep us occupied for a while. We do have fastest lap now, though. Because as you know, Sainz was causing problems for Vettel. Albon has now also probably had a little bit of a spin.
We can take a look now. Now watch this. Here's the moment involving Albon.
Same corner, unfortunately. Yeah, we've done about a quarter of the race here. And now the AI has started pitting. They're going onto the hard tire for the most part. And we'll see if we, again, can take advantage somehow. Going to be hoping for another safety car, for sure. Currently, though, we don't really have what is needed. We might want to just harvest ERS and use our energy stores later on to try and get the overtakes done. Thinking that might be the play here. Let's give overtake now, and let's see if we can get one. There we go. And we'll put back to neutral. We'll go balance on fuel usage. Let's have a quick look here what happened in terms of the overtake.
So this was the Aston Martin.
Pretty nice. Now, again, a lot of people are still pitting. But the cars ahead of us, most of them are on mediums. They'll be going onto the hard sooner or later. We do have Sainz too ahead of us on the hard. So the goal here will be to straight up use up as much as possible of the soft compound. And then go on to the medium here to the end. So something like this is what we'll be aiming for. Is it going to be costly for us? Probably. We did get Sainz though. We now only have the Ferrari ahead of us. And again here, the goal here is very simple. As long as we can keep... I was about to say use Sainz. Even though that doesn't make too much sense. As long as we can keep Sainz behind us, we will be good. But what I'm wondering here is if we can pull away from Sainz and get that second we need to not pull him along DRS-wise. So I think we're going to harvest here for a lap or two. And then see if we can gain a second or two maybe down the line. To help ourselves, basically. Let us use deploy. Let's see now if we have what it takes to,
Oh, we've had
again,
a spin.
gain the time we need to pull away. But it's kind of hard on this track. Just go back to neutral. We will be pitting this lap probably to the mediums. It will put us back down 13th, 14th place. Which will suck. It will be rough, don't get me wrong. But we will have that 2/10 a lap advantage minimum over the other runners. So I'm kind of aiming at that being the goal here. Let's just get the pit stop done. Go in the attack. Use what little we have left of the tires. And I'm just tuning it down now before we start pitting so I don't forget afterwards. Let's see here. We actually managed to come out in 5th. That is way better than I expected. Way better. And with that, it actually also means we don't have too many people to overtake. In terms of overtakes compared to the earlier updates, I don't see too much of a difference there, honestly. I'm looking forward to see how it works on the wet, though. That would be interesting. Hopefully one of our races before too long will be in the wets. But as I said, for right now, again, don't see too much of a difference. But I can't really complain too much either. There we go, we got Bottas. Now we have Show, an AlphaTauri, and then the two Ferraris.
Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
We did set fastest lap though, which is neat. A little bit over halfway done with the race.
Oh, did
We're
someone
kind of
run
leaving
wide
Bottas
there?
slightly behind. We're also running out of DRS usage. We do have a little bit extra fuel though. We can use that to push and keep up. So actually overtakes Leclerc, which is interesting. And wondering now if we're going to be able to make a move as well. Almost did it. And a little bit back and forth. We are losing time though, compared to Sainz, which could actually be a bit of a problem. So hopefully here we'll get the move done soon-ish. So this was a bit of a shame what happened with Vettel, honestly. I guess we're gonna have to go for overtake. If we can get it done now. There we go, Show. Now we only have one left. Got him as well. We'll go back to neutral. And I think with that, we should be able to easily, as you can see here now, hunt down Sainz. We're already gained, well,
I think
almost
we've
2
had a
seconds.
car run wide.
Leclerc is still keeping up with us though. And we've had a crash on
That's a
track.
lockup. Let's take a
The
closer look.
Russell's lockup that
Now,
has caused
just
this.
watch the Mercedes here. And yes, that's the lockup.
Oh really? Did he crash when he rejoined the field maybe? So far it's just a yellow in sector 3.
We've just had a crash on the track.
Norris
Let's
has
take
crashed.
A look at the replay. Now just take a look at the McLaren.
Is that an out?
the
Maybe. Norris moving. It is moving, so it shouldn't be a safety car. The tyre, we're about equal. Means that we're going to start suffering compared to Leclerc. Quarter of the race to go. We'll have to see. I was actually kind of interested in looking at lap history. So Sainz is doing 44
Good job,
nines,
keep pushing.
basically 45 zeros. And Alonso was doing 42.2 on that previous one. So yeah, he was doing more than 2 seconds lap gain, which is just insanity. Let's get a bit of our ERS back, and then we can start trying to hunt down Leclerc here. As long as we can overtake him before too many more laps pass, we should be fine. Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't done it already with the DRS. There we go. Multiple cars crashed. This might be a safety car. Red flag, actually. Okay.
Okay,
Looks like
copy.
Magnussen.
Let's see what happened there. All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here.
Ooh,
And there we see the crash.
I can see that is a red flag though. He's on the track.
The team are really disappointed.
That makes sense. Okay, 3 minutes of restart and... Okay, can I now go ahead and put on some fresh softs? We will actually have a tire advantage because I don't think anyone else really has fresh softs. Apart from us, I would assume.
Our
But
race
we'll
here
see now.
resumes as we get back underway.
Alonso versus Sainz. Have a quick
And
look.
it's lights out.
As you can see, and
away
Sainz
we
does not
go.
have fresh soft, neither does Leclerc. So we do have tire advantage. We can push to the end. We can deploy to from the get-go. With this, I'm wondering if we will be able to immediately retake first, maybe. Not the best start from Alonso there. Push it to overtake. And we'll see now if we can immediately make a move. Looks like it. We're a bit slower. But we do have better tires, better engine, better everything really. So I would assume Alonso will be able to make this move within the 7 laps we have remaining. And if we want to be really cheeky, we could just sit here, conserve our tires, and then try and make a move within the last few laps. But for now, let's just speed it along. There we go. Alonso is in first. Let's put this to neutral. And let's see now if we can gain
Aston Martin
a gap
with a great
for the
play
victory
there.
here.
They've moved up a place.
Sainz is keeping up though, so I guess the slipstream is effect here is probably working as intended, so to speak. Though he is getting pulled quite aggressively along. I'll have to see exactly what we want to do here. Might have to sacrifice a bit of time, but we are getting bigger and bigger gaps here in this section. So if we keep on pulling like this, we should be able to get out of the DRS like we have here. And that should be enough to more or less just secure Alonso's victory. Right now he can just cruise to the end. I'm kind of impressed that the red flag was just one car. But again, kind of disappointed that Vettel did get pull the short straw, so to speak. And get removed from contention. Let's put you to balance just to be safe. It says we have 2.4 kilograms extra, but this is the track where several times we run out of fuel. So we'll play it safe.
Which will be our last lap.
Last lap, we have a 5-second gap on the Ferraris. And in terms of lap history, 43.7, 43.6, 42.3. So yeah, usually dominant here once we got some clean air.
Yeah, well done, guys.
I'd have to say we are happy with that, honestly. So last to first, with a little bit of help of the red flag. Again, as you can see with the gap that we managed to eat out here, and with the timing sheet we had before the red flag, I still think we would have been able to take down Sainz, catch him normally. I don't think that would have been too much of a problem. Ferrari 2nd and 3rd, AlphaTauri 4th, Mercedes 5th. We have Red Bull in 6th place, Alfa Romeo, McLaren. Not any big surprises. Maybe a bit surprising as Perez is down in 16th. Verstappen 6th. But with that, we have one change to driver championship. The Ferrari drivers changing places, just 1 point between them. But yeah, currently we're looking fairly dominant, honestly. Also show there gaining 12 points, bringing his total up to 16. Pretty impressive. And in terms of constructors, Mercedes moves up past McLaren, but the battle for 4th and maybe these 3 is the only thing we really can look forward to. We have basically already won, unfortunately, making it kind of a bit boring, to be fair. Yeah, let's move on. Alright, amount drive experience. Again, we aren't getting too much because they're old. I don't think we're going to be playing too long, unfortunately, for Hauge. Still interesting. Money-wise, we made a lot. We did lose money, though, because not both our well, one of our drivers bombed out in Q2. We didn't have both drivers finish. So, yeah, performance-wise, kind of hurt our bottom line, but we can live with that. It's not every weekend we have accidents like that. The suspension sim has been refurbished, which is good to see. We have the next race in just 4 days, but before that, I want to check out the car here because we had, we know the chassis got completely destroyed. We can actually upgrade the chassis if we need to. I forgot that we have 3 parts laying around. Like we're using most of the upgrade stuff. The side pods here could actually upgrade us quite a bit more. Underfloor, no extra one, good. Suspension, good. So I'm thinking we manufacture 1 extra suspension at least. Sorry, that's the wrong button. There we go. And we're also going to go ahead here and just manufacture... rather, we don't need to. If we run out of chassis, we'll just upgrade. Same for the side pods. But let's get another rear wing. So that we keep it at 4. Front wing, get another one of those as well. Keep 6. Just makes the life a bit easier. And other than that, I think we were pretty okay. Suspension sim refurbishment. Congratulations. Good morning. Engine cooling could be better, yeah. I'm not too surprised there. Now, again, I just need to have a quick little follow-up for myself. We're doing research on everything. Okay, that makes sense. That's good. Let us continue. Rear wing manufacturing complete, and front wing manufacturing complete. Very good. And in terms of our facilities, again, factory we don't really need to upgrade. Car part test center, not a big one. Wind tunnel, we could upgrade this. We do have more than enough money for it. But again, I don't think I think we're going to start on the challenge game after this, hopefully. So we'll finish this up. We'll put it a little bit on the back burner, and then we will take things from there. Okay, race prep for the Dutch Grand Prix. Let's go through it quickly. Qualifying, again, we should be able to have a 1-2 quali. Both drivers should be able to reach Q2, unless we have, again, accidents. Fastest lap should be securable. Qualifying position streak. Let's just put 1 driver. Top 2. 5. Because that should be doable. That should be safe. That way we avoid too many problems. But with that, let's head on to the next race. Actually forgot to check this, but if we take a quick look here on the damage on Vettels' car, this was a fresh gearbox, so it has already suffered 40%, meaning that we will almost guaranteed have to take a gearbox penalty. The ERS, luckily, I don't think it took any damage, so we should be good there. The engine, though, this was a fresh engine again, down 17%. That's going to suck a little bit, but hopefully we can make this this work for the future. So for now, I'm just going to set up practice. We're going to get practice done, going to get qualifying done, and then we shall get into the race. Here we are. We're ready for the Dutch Grand Prix. Once again, 1-2 quali. Kind of what we expect at this stage. In terms of the expected strategies here, most will be on a 1-stop. There is a potential, though, for a 2-stopper. See how that would go. In terms of performance here, it tends to be gained on a fairly short lap here. So yeah, and degradation wise, as you can see here, there's barely any. Just 100 between the different tires. So again, soft, medium, soft might be the play. We'll see how that works. The pit lane, fairly long one, 28 seconds lost on average. So and even if there's a safety car, it'll still be 23 seconds. And as you can see, there has been no deployments of the safety car or the virtual safety car over the last 4 seasons. So we'll have to take that into consideration as well. And if we have a quick look here, you can see that Vettel is expected to... Well, they both are actually. I didn't know. I thought this was 5 laps shorter. My bad. But yeah, I think we're going to do a 2-stopper for both of our drivers. I just feel like that would be a more interesting race. And I still think that we'll be able to make something work from that. You can see both of our drivers here. Alonso has a slight engine advantage. I don't remember which engines we chose. I think we did Red Bull engines. If so, he has a slight advantage in terms of engine wear. I don't think we'll take any penalties for new parts just yet. And we'll just deploy and use fuel for both of our cars here to get away safely. Let us get into the race.
As the drivers are ready and the crowds are waiting.
I see
It's
some
the
yellow
Dutch
bands
Grand
there.
Prix,
Both of
and it's lights out.
Ferrari with split
and away
strategy.
we go.
Yeah, Leclerc running actually used tires here. It's making a move on Vettel, but Vettel did get it back. The other 3 on mediums, but a lot of soft runners here. Just 7 cars on medium total. So going to be a bit of a potentially interesting one, but we already are kind of running away with it here. We are already outside of DRS for both of the Ferraris here, so we might have done a bit of an overkill there with the newer engines, but we shall see how this race goes.
So DRS is
Again, we
enabled
do
now.
have the advantage of tires, advantage of basically everything at this stage. So I am a bit curious how much we are going to be leading by the end of this race. And of course, if we're going to end up hitting each other, which is also... But it's something that potentially could happen. Vettel and Alonso taking each other out. It wouldn't be too surprising. But yeah, while we have this calm moment, I'm just going to have a quick talk a little bit about what's going to happen with the challenge going forward. So what I'm thinking here is that we do a fairly simple... We're going to wrap this up within this and next week. I'm going to give myself a little bit extra time. I am back at work this week, although it is light. I am working. But next week we have Easter. So I'm thinking that we do probably a stream this weekend. Get a little bit back into it. A little bit of a
Okay.
chat with the people who
There's been a crash.
we want to.
We can take a
Verstappen
look
has
now.
crashed.
We're just watching
That's a
the
bit
Red
bad
Bull.
for his home Grand Prix.
They've lost control.
That, I would assume, is the rear wing go bye-bye. Looks to still be functioning, but I would assume he had taken some damage. We will see. But yeah, I'll probably be streaming on Sunday. Possibly right after the Grand Prix. It is the Austrian one, so it is going to be early morning for me. Starts at 7 AM. So I'm thinking we do maybe a short stream after that, where I continue a little bit on the McLaren stream, we test a few things out, and maybe we restart the McLaren stream too with a bit more... maybe do a half stream, something. Basically reboot that too, with a bit more of limitations to make it interesting over more than just a season. I could do 1 season challenges with each team, see how that goes. But yeah, as said, we'll be streaming this weekend sometime, a bit unsure exactly when. Again, thinking to do it after Grand Prix. But currently we are looking extremely favorable here in this race. 11 seconds gained after
I
16
think
laps.
there's been a lockup.
Quite nuts. And if we go down to 5th place, Hamilton here, we have 21 seconds. So... as you can see, we basically have the Ferraris in a class of their own, and we are also in a class of our own ahead of the Ferraris. But yeah, I'm very interested in starting a new save and seeing if, you know, things will be closer or not. Things like that. Now, both our cars are doing well in terms of tire wear. Vettel is a little bit behind Alonso,
Someone's run
but
wide.
that's not a problem. Ricciardo runs wide and ends up
Let's have
that
a
far
look.
behind.
Daniel Ricciardo involved.
What exactly happened here?
They go wide, right off the racing line.
Okay, so he was unlucky and got severely punished for going wide. But yeah, at this stage, doing a two-stopper shouldn't be a problem. Leclerc is going to have to pit very soon too. Let's pit Vettel first and see if he comes out ahead of Alonso. Then we shall pit Alonso, and we will delay the pit stop by a lap. And that should work just fine for both of our cars. The others have also started pitting, as you can see. So we probably could have stretched the tires a bit longer, but then again, we're doing a two-stopper, so there's no need for it. Vettel here did come out in fourth, and he's actually catching up to the Ferraris, I think. And he actually came out ahead of Alonso. That is interesting enough to see. Now the big question is, are they going to be able to do something to the Ferraris, or am I going to have to go for something like push, maybe?
You can stop, lift and coast.
Push, overtake, and we'll see if we can get the move done. Vettel is kind of making it stick. He made it stick. Very good. Now let's see if we can have Alonso do the same.
Aston Martin have just gained a race
Because right now,
position.
Vettel has already gained almost 2 seconds on both the Ferraris. So let's give you overtake. And there you go. Directly past Sainz. Leclerc went into the pits. So he is safe in that
Aston
manner.
Martin with a great play
Now,
there.
the big question
They've
now
moved up a
is,
place.
Alonso going to be able to catch up to those 2 seconds that Vettel has as an advantage? Probably. We'll have to see. Vettel still has a little bit extra fuel compared to Alonso to burn. I think we'll put both to balance, and we'll see exactly how this ends up. Because Alonso is slightly faster than Vettel, just based on driver stats. Alonso also has an engine that is fresher than Vettel's. So, as you can see, we are getting that advantage, and I'm down. I'm really looking forward to this year's game, honestly. What I want to see is a little bit more randomness. And race to race stats, so to speak. Honestly, it might annoy you at certain times, but it makes the game more interesting if you can't guess the result with accuracy every single time. And we know the result with accuracy right now. We're gonna win every race, and it will be Alonso, most likely, because he has, you know, a bit better stats. I also hope that we get engine development. There's so many things that I wish for next game, but for now, can't really do too much other than hope. I did have a look on mods before I started recording today. Most of them are library mods. But I might do a little bit of editing myself, and maybe we'll do a 2023 race lineup while we wait. So Alonso and Vettel are now making their way through the back markers, and Vettel has lost 2 seconds doing so. It's going to be interesting to see if we will actually get those seconds back, but it doesn't really look like it. And by lap 40, we have half a minute down to the Ferraris, and 50 seconds down to 5th place. That is a bit nuts, honestly. I'm thinking that when I make a new series, I'm gonna also cut down the races a bit more. When we have dead space like this, I'm just gonna go ahead and chop it away. Let me know if you want to see the races in their entirety like they've been now, those who still follow this series, or if cutting down a bit more of the dead space would be something you'd like to see. Might test it for the last two Aston Martin videos. So yeah, Vettel is losing out. As you can see, he's down to about 4 seconds now. We have a quick look at lap times between the two of them. Alonso's running 10.6, 10.7s. Vettel is running 11 blanks, basically. So, bit of a shame. It's just the difference between them. We also have another pit stop coming up. We could try and just have Vettel try and jump him on the pits. Could work. Maybe. But we'll stretch at least one more lap before we consider pitting it, either of them. With a gap between them too, we could also try and do a double pit if we are so inclined. But I think that will be a bit risky. Let's see, Vettel has pitted for his final pit stop. Came out behind Norris. Luckily, he didn't need to make his way through the back markers, really. Alonso is coming out now.
Car in the wall.
We've had a car in the wall, a safety car. Kind of pitted right before that, which is unfortunate. But Vettel has lost time, all things considered. Stroll has crashed.
Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll. There's the crash.
Okay, that's quite rough. He should be out, I think. Yeah, Stroll is out. We also have no overtaking now under the safety car. Let's go ahead and harvest for both of our drivers. Could also just go conserve on the tires. Not that it matters too much. Under the safety car. With this now, we can actually see if the safety car procedure is going to work, like unlapping. I believe they did add that, although now I think about it, I am slightly uncertain. We'll see. The safety car will allow for unlapping it. Yeah, there we go. Lap cars we now overtake. Love it. Although they aren't really overtaking.
Got loads of energy. Copy.
Finally, there they go. I think they might need to just fix the safety car a little bit, because even though they're allowed to overtake, they're not doing it in a... it's not a very efficient manner, is it? That is the last car that needs to be...
Okay, energy's good. Okay, copy.
I guess they added it, but they didn't code it, put too much effort into coding it. So there's only certain places there on the track where they will be able to overtake successfully. Now, is the safety car coming in before they catch up to the back again? It's the big question that I have right now. It's probably going to need 2 more laps of safety car. We want them to catch up all the way to the back.
So safety car will be in this lap.
As you can see, that isn't really happening, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have a restart.
Pick up the pace a bit.
Let's see how this restart goes. Speed it up a little bit. Normal racing resumed. Looks like we got a well. And with 15 laps to go now, almost fresh softs, plenty of fuel, and energy to spare, we should be actually very good here. And we have already pulled away from the Ferraris. Look at that gap from just 1 lap. 1 lap, 3 seconds. That's a bit nuts. 109.2. Oh, Vettel with a lockup. Looks like he's safe though. But he will lose all his positions, won't he? Yeah, he will.
And that's a
because he didn't get back in time. That's going to be a bit of a challenge.
DRS will be
13
active.
laps. I don't know if Vettel is actually going to be able to make it back. He got 1 there. Maybe back into the points. I don't have too much hope for anything more than that, really. But he is making rapid work of the cars around him. Maybe this was a track we should have done last first.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a
Maybe
place.
I should have slowed it down a bit so we can have a look here. Because Vettel is actually making amazing work here. Schumacher with a lockup. I think he's still okay. I'm going to tune down Alonso. He has 11 seconds. That way I don't forget. There we go. I move on with Verstappen. Now it's the both Mercedeses that are up next. Honestly, might actually be able to get back on the podium at this rate. That would actually be quite amazing. 10 laps to go. Do we dare to tune this one up to aggressive? I think we'll wait, like 5 laps to go, then we can tune it up. With the DRS train, we might actually have to regain some energy before we try and make an attack here. So we'll recharge for maybe a lap or 2, and then we'll go on the offensive. Are we getting it on the straight while recharging? Maybe? He's brave on the brakes. Speed things up a little bit. Yeah, a bit unfortunate for Vettel there, having that lockup, but luckily no damage to the car, which does put us into a good position in terms of making moves. I'm thinking that on the next lap, at turn 3 maybe, we'll try and do some moves. We'll give him the overtake from this point on, and we'll see if we can make something work here. And looks like it immediately had an effect. Now, do I want to put him back to neutral? Try the same thing next lap, maybe? Or do I want to just let him send it? I think we'll let him send it. Maybe not. Put it in neutral. We're using so much energy on the straights, but we just can't overtake with the DRS train. And we're actually losing out now to the cars in front, as you can see. We have 4 cars in front here, up to Albon. Then a lot to work on. So I think we're just going to use overtake on this line here. And we'll recharge everywhere else. I think we don't really have any choice but to do it like that. And with that, we should be able to at least get a car a lap. Can he hang it out? It's a big question now. That Haas is kind of blocking us, isn't it? There we go. And we got immediately re-overtaken. That sucks. Well, hopefully we can get into the points at least. We'll have to see here. I am thinking that we do tune up the tires though. How we're looking... Old hards on the guys in front. There we go. That was a better move. I think we can go aggressive here for the last few laps here.
So we just need to push now.
Copy.
There we go. Vettel has now overtaken Russell. Can he get the Haas as well of Magnussen? Honestly, I'm just going to allow him to run neutral to the end. I think that's fine too. 6 laps to go. We do have a chance of rain, but I think we should be safe, yeah. There we go, got the Haas. Now the first Alpha Tauri. Should get it here because the Alpha doesn't have DRS. Got him on the straight. Hunting down Albon. And Gasly, Hamilton.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
5 laps to go though. Can we make this work? Now if we just get within DRS of Albon, he's done. So that one should be fairly straightforward and simple. And then it's getting that DRS train of 4 cars in front. That's going to be more of a challenge. There we go. Albon done. New fastest lap. Beautiful. Again, we're just going to allow Alonso do what he wants up front. Basically has almost a full pit stop on the others here. So we probably could pit him for fastest lap if we really, really wanted to. Now, last lap gained about 2 seconds on Gasly. That's with DRS, so we'll have to see now if we can catch up within the next few laps. So we also need to keep an eye on our fuel. It is starting to get low.
4 laps to go.
We are almost within DRS. One more straight should do it. Then it's just a question of if we can make the move or not. Because there will be 4 cars ahead of us in that DRS train. We are also overheating our tires slightly. So we are up into the back of them now. And their tires are way worse than ours, so we might actually be able to make something work here. There we go, he's making moves. Now it's Leclerc and Perez. Big question is, can we catch Sainz too? If so, we need to get past these boys basically immediately.
Be 3 to go.
3 laps to go when we cross now. But yeah, Vettel is doing a good job. Shame that we don't really have any energy here to use on the straight, but we should be able to overtake the one of these two who will not have DRS. Which will be Perez, so yeah. And we should be able to get Leclerc fairly quick too. Again, we do have better tires, so Vettel will most likely make his way back onto the podium. It's beautiful to watch. There we go. 3 seconds. 3 laps. Is that doable? I think it might be. We'll have to see. What was their last laps? 11-1, 10-3. Eyes are starting to get really, really, busted though, so
2 laps to go.
I think it might just be a tad too much to ask. We'll have to see here. We could probably go full on attack, 2 full laps. If we want to have any chance, that's actually what we're going to have to do.
Use everything from the tyres, use everything.
And unfortunately we are out of fuel at this stage.
So Sebastian, we are all okay on fuel, so you can do what you want for speed.
Yeah, copy.
2 laps, 2.4 seconds. It's going to need to take 1.2 every lap. It's doable. This is doable. This was 1.4. He could make it happen here. Would be actually kind of insane. Four-tenths outside of DRS.
Last lap.
Alonso's just started his last lap, but again,
Okay,
he's
copy.
basically half a lap ahead of the rest of the field. We can get just a single DRS zone. I think we make it happen. There we go. That should give us DRS on the main straight now. That should get us up to the back of... Okay, we did not get DRS. We did get DRS. Sorry, I was looking at Alonso. So yeah, we're now up to the back of the Ferrari. Can we make something happen here? Get a Vettel back into second place. That would be amazing. I don't think he's done with the overtake attempt yet, Cronin. There we go. Let's use whatever you have left of your ERS to defend. You have half a lap. You just need to protect yourself. And Alonso
Looks like
wins.
Aston Martin have just gained a race
But
position.
what we've been really interested in here
Let's check the
is,
flag.
of course,
We deserve it. I think we deserve it.
Vettel's fight. We do deserve it, Alonso. Hopefully Vettel can keep Sainz behind, but yeah, this looks very,
Low
very
batteries.
promising.
Yeah.
Although the battery is now empty, I don't think Sainz and his tyres has it in him to catch up. Nope, there we go. Vettel managed
Check it flag.
almost do a last to first there,
Strategy was good.
midway through the race.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Take all the pickup on the way in. Well done.
Yeah, that was a good race, honestly.
Take all the...
Third and fourth for the Ferraris. Kind of what we expect at this stage. Paris fifth, making up for that horrible race in Belgium. The Alfa Romeo did well, 6th and 7th. Albon 8th now in the Alfa Tauri. Show down in 12th, not whatever he wants to be, neither for Verstappen here. We had a bad quality, I guess. Started 15th, so that's not what we used to. Yeah, pretty good race. Pretty interesting to watch Vettel making his way back onto that second place. Driver championship here. Sainz now overtakes Leclerc again. Still just 2 points between them. Gonna be keep on switching back and forth. Paris goes up past Russell, which is good. Constructors, we have Alfa Romeo moving up past Alpine. We'll have to see how this fight goes in the future. Mercedes with just, unfortunately, 2 points. Gonna be disappointing. Yeah, not much we can do about that. So, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, I think. Again, apologies that it's taken me so long to make a new video. I am hopefully now done with all my hospital visits and everything. I am still struggling with tiredness. I'm tired a lot, but it's a lot better than what it used to be. I know over the last couple of months I have been getting better, so hopefully I'll be back to recording a bit more regularly again. A video day might be too much, but I think we're gonna get back there slowly over time. So for now, gonna end this here, as I said. Thank you to everyone who's watched. And again, apologies for a long hiatus. I'm not too sociable, as you might have called on. So I should probably give you more of a heads up. I thought I made a post, but apparently I did not, so it's just me being silly. Now with that said, I'll be jumping on Discord either today or tomorrow. I'll be trying to answer any questions. I'll be going through my comments on the YouTube page. There is a lot. The bell was, I think, over 100. I'm also very annoyed / ashamed of myself that I didn't just sit down and try this a few weeks earlier because there was a free weekend. That would have been great to just sit down and stream with some people. But yeah, not much we can do about that. So yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, gonna sit down. I'll be getting on Discord either today or tomorrow. We'll have to see what I have time for. I do need to prep a few things before tomorrow in terms of work. But in the next couple of days, at the very least, I'll be getting the framework for the challenge game set down. I'll be going on Discord, giving you all an update on what's been going on with my health. And I'll also get exactly when we're streaming this weekend down. So yeah, thank you to everyone who has supported me while I've been gone. Again, I should have let you know what was going on. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope that I'll be able to record a bit more consistently now again going forward. Hope you all have a good Easter in the coming week. Although to be fair, it's a bit too early to say that, so I hope you all have a good week, and hope to see you all next time. Again, thank you, and bye bye.